This is page 3648 of Lord Mahair, uh, chapter title Satara, year 1954. The following 20 men were present on this occasion: Gustaji, Baidul, Kaka, Pendu, Vishnu, Erich, Ramju, Don, Nilu, Savak, Kaikobad, Krishna Nair, Bao, Alaba, Kishan Singh, Kumar, Dake, Adi Dubash, Dr. Sharma, and Krishna Ji. When the men had returned after washing, the doors and windows were shut. Guards were posted outside on all sides to prevent anyone from coming inside. And Baba stated, I have to discard the alphabet board today, but before doing so, I will offer my obeisance to the five Sadgurus. At 6:30 p.m., the obeisance ceremony began. A white sheet was spread on the floor and a stool placed on it. Baba instructed, each of the 20 of you present should come to me one by one and stand on the stool. When my forehead touches your feet, you should utter, O Sai Baba, Upasni Maharaj, Baba Jan, Tajuddin Baba, Narayan Maharaj. Baba is offering you his last obeisance, saying, uh, saying their names in the exact order I have given. One by one, the Mandali and guests came forward, and Baba placed his head on their feet as each loudly repeated the invocation. If the names of the perfect masters were spoken out of order, the person had to repeat them again until the order was correct. Krishna Nair had to say it 5 or 6 times. Gustaji began the ceremony with silent hand gestures, and Kaikobad was the last. After all had finished, Baba alone saluted himself by bowing down to himself, touching his hand to his forehead and then to his feet. Because he was silent, he asked the Mandali to repeat the line simultaneously. But they could not do it in unison. So Baba told them he would raise his finger and they should all shout, Sai Baba! And when he raised his finger again, they should repeat, Upasani Maharaj. And in this way, the entire invocation, Babajan, Tajuddin Baba, Narayan Maharaj, was repeated by every man present. After that, Baba washed his hands. A bowl of water had been kept on the stool, and after washing his hands, Baba sprinkled a little water 7 times on the floor. After doing this, he began to return to his original position, but again returned to the bowl and threw water 7 times more on the floor, as if only then was it done to his satisfaction. He asked Gustaji and Kaikobad to stand on either side of him and hold his arms, and he then joined his hands in prayer. At 6:45 p.m., Erich read out the following prayer in English, which Bao translated into Hindi. Baba had dictated the prayer the day before. O Sai Baba, Upasani Maharaj, Babajan, Tajuddin Baba, and Narayan Maharaj, you, the 5 in 1 and the 1 in 5, the divine beings representing the Absolute One, I bow down to you in perfect homage. It is due to you 5 men God that I am what I am, the Ancient One, the Everlasting One. May the beloved God, with whom you 5 are one and for whom you 5 are working universally, give me in your names the strength, power, and wisdom to fulfill all that I have taken this form for, and see that all I have declared at the last Meribod meeting comes to pass. I now give up using the board, it being my gesture before God for breaking my silence soon. As the prayer was being said, Baba would raise his arms beseechingly. Raise his arms beseeching God. And it looked as if he himself was seriously praying to the Almighty. There was a divine glow on his face and a peculiar luster in his eyes. Baba was so pleased. He asked Erich and Bao to repeat the prayer a second time. Then Baba again bowed to each of those present. Gustaji first, Kaikobad last. This time telling them to repeat Parabrahma, Paramatama, Ya Yezdan, Ahura Mazda, Allahu Akbar. I'll just repeat those names. Parabrahma, Paramatama, Ya Yazdan, Ahura Mazda, Allahu Akbar, as he touched their feet. After doing so, to each, Baba alone bowed down to the stool, as all said the line in chorus. At exactly 7 p.m., Baba placed the cardboard alphabet board with the torn zero on the stool and took his seat on a chair. Erich removed the board to send to Padri, along with the white sheet on which Baba had stood during the ceremony. After the ceremony, Baba sat quietly for a few minutes. It was a serene and peaceful atmosphere. Suddenly, Baba remarked through hand gestures, "How happy I am. Everything went well. All will be well." Baba listened to a few bhajan and qawwali records on a phonograph until 11:30 p.m., after which, at 11:45, the Master's prayer was recited by Erich in English, and then repeated by Bao in Hindi. The prayers were over at midnight, and all the Mandali accompanied Baba to Grafton. Baba instructed Dhaka to leave at 10 p.m., and so Erich dropped him at the bus stand during a 15-minute recess which Baba had ordered. Thus, Baba stopped using the alphabet board from 7 October 1954, and it will be seen hereafter how he conveyed his thoughts and instructions. The following day, Baba sent Krishnaji to Meherazad to stay with Kakabaria. Kishan Singh left for Dehradun, Dr. Sharma for Mathura, and Adi Dubash for Karachi. John Bass cabled Baba that Malcolm Schloss had died in New York on the 7th of October. Baba had told his Western lovers to go straight home after leaving India. But Malcolm had stayed in Paris for a few days, and again in New York, instead of returning directly to Hollywood, California. Baba instructed Mayurji to send these two telegrams in reply. Inform all concerned that most fortunate Malcolm passed away from you all on the most important day of 7th in unique circumstances after embracing Baba and completing Baba's work. Baba stopped using board from the 7th, but conveyed by gestures specially send this message for Malcolm's group, that Malcolm, very fortunate, passing away on the 7th, and has come to Baba. Baba wishes you send autographed pictures to Malcolm's group, according to his list, and Baba's robe, Sadra, to person taking charge of his group. Baba wishes you let Baba lovers in America, Europe, Australia know both my cables. After the seven, After the September 1954 Meherabad meeting, when the lovers reached their homes, they spread the news everywhere of Baba's dropping the body and the destruction of three-fourths of the world. In some vernacular newspapers in India, accounts were published and the reports spread throughout the country. In Baba centers in Hamirpur, repetition of Baba's name without a break for 24 hours began, and the whole district was swept away by Baba's love. All were praying that Baba not give up the body, and in all corners of India, talk about Meher Baba prevailed. A strange atmosphere had descended, and it seemed Baba's unusual declaration had served to spread his name quickly, far and wide. After Baba's declaration was publicized, many people opposed to Baba objected to his authority to make such a declaration. Ironically, the result of this opposition was that it brought many new ones to Baba's feet. The declaration was in truth the declaration of God and can never be unfounded or false. The results would always be according to Baba's wish. Had an ordinary man made such a dramatic announcement, it would have had a deleterious effect if no definite result occurred. In the Avatar's case, however, everything happened in his own time, as he wished it. Age noted, now and forever, the Avatar holds the pulse of the world in his hands, and it is by his will alone that humanity breathes. Many of Baba's Western followers also expressed their concerns about his pronouncement through anxious letters that were received in Satara. On Friday, 8 October 1954, Baba sent the following message to them. It had been given the previous day and was the last message Baba dictated on the alphabet board. There is no reason at all for any of you to worry. Baba was, Baba is, and Baba will also be eternally existent. Severance of external relations does not mean the termination of internal links. It was only for establishing the internal connection that external contacts had been maintained until now. The time has now come for being bound in the chain of internal connections. Hence, external contact is no longer necessary. It is possible to establish the internal link by obeying Baba's orders. I give you all my blessings for strengthening these internal links. I am always with you, and I am not away from you. I was, am, and will remain eternally with you. And it is for promoting this realization that I have severed external contact. This will enable all persons to realize truth by being bound to each other with internal links. Oh, my lovers, I love you all. It is only because of my love for my creation that I have descended on earth. Let not your hearts be torn asunder by my declarations concerning the dropping of my body. On the contrary, accept my divine will cheerfully. You can never escape from me. Even if you try to escape from me, it is not possible to get rid of me. Therefore, have courage and be brave. If you thus lose your hearts, how will it be possible for you to fulfill the great task which I have entrusted to you? Be brave and spread my message of love far and wide to all quarters in order to fulfill my divine will. Let the words Baba, Baba, Baba come forth from the mouth of every child, and let their ignorance be reduced to ashes by the burning flame of my love. Come together in order to fulfill my will by taking your stand on truth, love, and honesty, and be worthy of participating in my task. I give you all my blessings for spreading my message of love. The day after Baba gave up the alphabet board, he came to the Mondale's bungalow with his hands wrapped in handkerchiefs so that he would not make signs with his fingers. He sat with the Mondale, and the above message was read out to him. When he wanted to convey something, everyone had to guess what it was by looking at him. Everyone's guesses were wrong, except Erich's. Ramju remarked, "This exceeds all miracles. It is really unbelievable to guess something from facial expressions." Another bungalow in Satara, called Jal Villa, was rented, where Krishna, Nilu, Bhau, Kaikobad, and later Krishnaji began to stay. During this period at Jal Villa, Baba again began working with Kaikobad daily. In the absence of his alphabet board, it was difficult for Baba to convey what he wanted to communicate. One of the Mondale would repeat the English alphabet, and Baba would stop him at a particular letter. A tedious ordeal. It took a lot of time to grasp what he meant. Sometime later, Baba began writing in the air with his fingers, but this also was difficult to follow. At times, he would write on the floor, which was also not easily deciphered. Gradually, after some months, Baba began making signs with his fingers, and a new language of gestures was created. He would form English letters with his fingers, occasionally using his ear for E and pointing to his eye for I. The language, though, had no sign for the letters J and F. When Baba wanted to use these letters, one had to repeat the alphabet, and Baba would nod his head when one came to F or J. Baba was quite fast and adept in using this new finger language, and some in both Mondale could read his gestures. In the men, Erich was the quickest to recognize his signs, and among the women, Mani. As Baba once remarked, "The world is dancing every moment to the signs of my fingers." One morning, a 26-year-old wandering naked sadhu from Hamirpur came to Rosewood. He was not allowed to enter. He was told that Baba was in seclusion and was not meeting anyone. The sadhu's name was Ramdas. meaning servant of Ram. He had heard of Baba and was determined to see him. Soon it started raining heavily, and he got drenched, but he did not budge. He waited outside the gates for 8 hours, and at 3 p.m., Baba called him to Jal Villa and gave him darshan. As soon as he saw Baba, he began dancing up and down and declared, I've seen God in person, Ram, Krishna, Mahavir, and he started weeping in joy. Baba asked him to mend his ways and give up posing as a saint. Although Ramdas had enjoyed the life of a false sannyasi, as people would bow to him, garland him, and feed him all the delicacies they could afford, he still promised Baba to reform and soon changed his way of life. Later, Baba christened him Meher Das. On another occasion, Arnavaz's younger brother, Nozar Dadachanji, came from Bombay along with Minu F. Kambada and Khurshid Talati to see Baba. We have a side note here saying Khurshid was the son of Naval and Dina Talati. Nozar, 21, was a pilot in the Air Force, and Baba advised him, before flying, first remember me. This is most important. And if you do as I tell you, you will have no cause for fear. He told him, you have to go now. Although I am not seeing anyone, I had to grant you darshan to tell you that. How lucky you are that I permitted you my darshan, even in seclusion. During the September Meherabad meeting, Nozar tripped over a stone and fell down when walking out of Baba's cabin, right after his interview with Baba. Calling him back, Baba asked him, fall down again. Show me how you fell. Nozar complied, and Baba remarked, now you won't die in an airplane crash. However, Nozar still felt in his heart that his death through an accident was inevitable. After having Baba's darshan, Minu, Nozar, and Khurshid returned to Bombay. Erch's cousin, Sam Karawala, was a ship's radio operator and came to Satara during his vacation. As a child, Sam had played in the Bangalore ashram with his mother, Banu Masi, Gai Mai Jesawala's sister. On this occasion, Baba asked him, do you know who I am? Yes, very well, Sam replied confidently. Baba turned to the Mandali. It is really wonderful, he stated facetiously. You all have been with me for so many years and still do not know who I am. But Sam knows. He is truly fortunate. And Sam felt abashed at his bravado. Sam had recently purchased a used Vauxhall, but after driving it for a while, he discovered that the car's engine needed a complete overhaul. Baba expressed a wish to use it for a must tour, so when it was repaired, he had the car brought to Satara. On the way, Sam had the thought, this car has been a real headache to me, and now, thank God, it will soon be Baba's problem, including the oil and gas. Sam and the driver reached Satara about 10 a.m. and had Baba's darshan. Baba appeared quite happy with the car. He had a short ride in it and seemed satisfied with its performance. The same afternoon, before Sam and the driver left, Baba returned to the men's quarters. Turning the coat pockets of his pink jacket inside out, he informed Sam, "You have brought the car for my use, but as you see, I have no money to run it. So you had better hand over to Erich whatever money you have to make sure that all future running expenses are met." Sam agreed, remembering the petty thought that had come to him on the way to Satara. Thus Baba made him realize his mistake. Erich took all his money, leaving him just enough to return to Pune. Although Sam's car was not in the best condition, somehow they managed to keep it running. Ba was assigned the duty of washing the car daily, and Baba would come each day to make sure it was being kept thoroughly cleaned. Adi Sr. was called to Satara on 11 October 1954 when Baba discussed with him the publication of Malcolm Schloss and Charles Purdam's notes on the Three Incredible Weeks. Baba also spoke about his upcoming visit to Pandharpur and told Adi to inform Nusserwan Sata and Sarosh of the details. And the side note here says, Gadge Maharaj used to visit Akbar Press, Nusserwan Sata's home in Ahmednagar. Adi's nephew, Falu, and his family had accompanied him to Satara, and Baba was happy to see Falu. He spoke of Falu's father, Rustam, saying, "Your father had so much love and so much sacrifice for me. He is seeing me again physically through your form." Falu wept, and Baba caressed him. At 3 p.m. on 16 October 1954, Baba, accompanied by Pendu, Baidul, and Kumar, traveled in Adi's car driven by Erich to work with Musts. Baba contacted Musts in Kolhapur, Belgaum, Mysore, and other places, and then they returned 6 days later on the 22nd. It was during this trip that Baba made an unscheduled visit to the Biramangala property, where Baba had once planned a universal center. Baba had found it difficult to rest in Mysore because of loudspeaker music from Diwali celebrations going on at that time. Erich suggested they drive a few hours away to the Biramangala property, where Venkoba Rao had purchased part of the land and was residing. Pendu was sent in advance to arrange it. Venkoba Rao was overjoyed that Baba had come. Baba asked Venkoba Rao why he had not attended the September programs in Ahmednagar. Venkoba replied that he had not received the circular about them. Baba said, "Since you did not come to see me, I had to come to see you." Despite heavy rain, Baba walked around the property and to the nearby reservoir. Venkoba Rao expressed his wish to rejoin the Mandali, and Baba said he would call him when the time was right. Baba stayed at Biramangala for a day or so before resuming his must work. A few days after this must trip, Baba, with Erich Baidul Kumar and Bao, returned to Islampur and Kolhapur on several occasions to work with two particular musts. The contact in Islampur was the fifth plain must Dandibua, who had been brought to Mahabaleshwar Ashram in December 1946. Dandibua was a tall figure with luminous features, quite robust and healthy, despite being completely naked in all weather. When a blanket or shirt was given to him, he would reject the offering, saying, I cannot bear happiness. I cannot bear comfort. Once, when Baba and the men went to contact Don Dibua at 1 or 2 a.m., he was seated in a temple. He had urinated and defecated near the front of the idol there. During must contacts, one of the mandali was to distract the must in conversation so that Baba could do whatever work he wanted to with them, usually by outwardly massaging their bodies or pressing their feet. So Erich asked Don Dibua, what is this place where you are now? Oh, this is a big temple of the Lord, the must replied. It is a sanctified place. Erich wondered, then how is it someone has excreted and urinated here? Dandibua reflected, after all, what is a temple? Erich answered, a temple is a sacred place where God is installed. So naturally, people come to worship him there. No, no, the must explained in a clear tone. God is everywhere, and because God is everywhere and all pervading, man cannot lay his hand on him. So what they do is to prepare some imaginary image of that God, which they cannot handle, and they install it in a place called a temple. The must concluded. So, really speaking, a temple is not a place for worshiping the Lord. It is a prison for the Lord. People imprison him there. The must would collect discarded beedies and smoke them. If anyone offered him a fresh beedi or cigarette, he would not take it, but say, comfort does not agree with me. I cannot bear to come in contact with it. Sometimes the must would be seen rolling in the dust. Baba said this was from the agony of love for God that musts have. You can have not the slightest idea of what such love means, he told the women one day. It is unbearable agony and burns the lover so that the must is but a living fire. Baba was overjoyed at his contact with Don Dibua and worked with him several times during this period. Baba would frequently mention him and wanted him kept at Satara, but the must could not be persuaded to come. And I'll pause the recording here for a change of reader and any comments.
Okay.
Okay, we're resuming with Marvin reading.
Because of their exalted state, musts can endure unimaginably harsh conditions. On the outskirts of Kolhapur, an old must with blackened, dirt-encrusted skin and a bent back was living in filthy conditions, occupying a small corner near a stone temple. The spot was so small that a normal size man could not sit there. while sitting in such a narrow space. His feet remained outside. The place was made of stone and cement. It would become like a furnace in summer, but throughout all seasons, this must would occupy that corner. Whatever was given to him, he would put it in a bundle of cloth. Every evening, taking the bundle with him, he would wander through the city, returning at about 9 or 10 p.m. He was a Jamali type, serene, but at times he also showed signs of being Jalali, fiery. He would rarely utter a word. Due to the accumulation of edibles, the bundle was smelling foul when Baba contacted him. But not even for a moment would the must be away from his bundle of garbage. Baba was highly gratified by contacting this must and liked him very much. One night, Baba brought the must with him to Satara, but because the must became extremely restless, he was returned to his abode in Kolhapur the next day. Kumar was also sent back to Dehradun at this time, and on 27th October, Erich drove Krishnaji to Mirzad, where Baba ordered him to keep silence for 6 months. Prior to Kumar's departure, one day at Meherazad, Kumar had the idea that it would be wonderful to have an impression of Baba's footprints. He was not sure whether Baba would agree, but he sent for plaster of Paris and kept it ready. After it arrived, he requested that Mani or Goher asked Baba if he would consent to give his foot impression, saying even if he agreed to give only the right foot, that was sufficient. Baba had already retired for the day and was in his room with Bao. Kumar put the plaster powder in a cardboard shoebox and was called to Baba's bedroom. He was nervous, wondering what Baba would say when he arrived and explained the idea. Baba was in a pleasant mood and replied, "Yes, all right." So, with a nervous heart, Kumar quickly mixed the plaster of Paris with water. Erich had accompanied him and told him to put a little salt in the mixture. Baba graciously put his right foot into the box. After removing his foot, he asked Kumar, "What about the left foot?" Kumar hadn't been sure if Baba would agree to both feet, so there was only a small amount of plaster of Paris left. Excited, he mixed the remaining powder in the shoebox lid, and Baba put his left foot in it. This is the reason the right footprint turned out fuller and more defined than the left. As Kumar was taking the impressions, Baba remarked, "It will be good for future generations, for posterity." Kumar took the boxes of plaster to his room where they dried, and then took them back with him to Dehradun.
Side note says some years later in Pune, Pukar tried to get better imprints made and brought an expert for this purpose. But the impressions did not come out, as Baba's feet were swollen and, quote, as hard as stones, end quote. The skin and tissue having become rigid and inflexible. End of note.
Okay. Pandharpur is one of the most sacred and holiest places of pilgrimage for lovers of Lord Krishna. Because of its temple of Vithoba, another name for Krishna, about 160 miles from Ahmednagar, the temple is situated on the banks of the Chandrabhaga River and was made famous by Tukaram. Gage Maharaj had invited Baba there, and at the beginning of November 1954, he again beseeched Baba to stay in Pandharpur from the afternoon of the 6th to the afternoon of the 7th. these being the two most sacred days of the year when thousands of pilgrims would be coming there. Baba, however, did not wish to give mass darshan as he had done in Wadi Park and informed Gage Maharaj of this. Baba stated, "My coming to Pandharpur will be tantamount to Vithoba himself coming to take Vithoba's own darshan." Still, the date was fixed for the 6th and 7th, and Gadekar in Pune was informed. For a year prior to this, Gadekar had been transferred to Nasik. While in Nasik, Gage Maharaj would come to Gadekar's house, and he also continued to visit his family in Pune. Gadekar with his wife, Gulnatai, and their children, Digambar and Nalini, proceeded to the Pandharpur ahead of Baba. There, Gadekar arranged for Baba and the Mandali to stay in a military boarding school. Footnote.
Side note says, as the government education officer for that district, the school came under Gadekar's purview. End of side note.
Baba called Naraman Dadachanji and Meherji Kakaria to Satara on the 5th. He left with them and Sarosh in two cars, Naraman and Sarosh's, for Pandharpur on Saturday, 6 November 1954. Erich, Pendu, Bao, Kolyar, and Gustaji accompanied them. They stopped at Binger House for lunch. Several of Baba's close lovers in various places were informed, and they too traveled to Pandharpur. These included Adi Sr., Jangu, Nusarwan, Dake, Waman, Rustam, Kaka, Bhagirat, Kaka Chinkorkar, Baya Pandey from Abhinagar, Yashwant Rayo from Sakori, Bal Natu, and a fellow teacher named Vasudio Kher from Kurdawadi. The Thade family, Rangoli, Subhadra, Bade, Shinde, Kamble, and Sadashiv Patil from Pune, and Kutumba Sastri from Andhra. Reaching Pandharpur at 2:30 p.m., Baba was served tea and refreshments at Kaka Chinkorkar's father-in-law, Raja Vakil, Rajaya Patil Vakil's home. At 4 p.m., Baba and the Mandali accommodated themselves in the spacious school building. This message was sent to Gage Maharaj. Vithoba himself has come to Pandharpur in person, and he will be completely at your disposal during his 24-hour stay. Vithoba will do exactly as Gage Maharaj tells him to do, but on condition that Maharaj not ask him to break his silence or use his alphabet board, which he has discarded from October 7. Gage Maharaj should also not require him to either take food or rest at night, as he, Vithoba, Baba, has decided on taking neither food nor rest so that he can make himself available as much as possible to the pilgrims coming. End of message. Hearing of Baba's arrival, Gage Maharaj arranged to receive him at his own Dharmashala. He collected as many pilgrims as he could fit in the open courtyard. Everyone was made to sit in an orderly fashion so that they could see Baba even from a distance. At 5 p.m., Baba was driven to the Dharmashala, leading him by the hand. Gage Maharaj escorted him to a raised dais which had been specially built for him and requested that Baba take his seat on it. Although Baba wanted to sit on the ground with the pilgrims, he kept his promise and consented to Maharaj's request. Okay, I think I need to take a break here.
Okay, I'll pause the recording and okay, I've resumed the recording and Eva Fatima Faraya is reading.
Taking his seat on the chair, Baba provided all a clear view of him. Baba's chair had been placed just inside Vithoba's temple in the Dharmashala in such a way that his body concealed Vithoba's statue behind him. It was only natural that the idol, which was worshipped all year round, would lose its importance when Meher Baba, the living Lord Vithoba, was present before them. Pointing to Baba, Gaj Maharaj addressed the pilgrims. I am overwhelmed with joy today to have Meher Baba in our midst, and I wish that you all take his darshan. In truth, he is the Jagat Guru, master of the world, in the real sense of the word, as he is the one eternal being who really serves the whole world. He extorted all. Take Meher Baba's darshan wholeheartedly, as Baba has blessed you by his very presence here. Baba rose from his chair and for a few seconds stood with folded hands in salutation to the mass of humanity gathered. He then sat down on one of the temple steps. All joined in the singing of bhajans in praise of Lord Krishna, clapping their hands in accompaniment. After a few minutes, Gaj Maharaj held up his hand to stop the bhajan and, garlanding Baba, laid his head on Baba's feet in front of the thousands gathered. This was an astonishing sight for those who loved and considered him as a great saint. Some devotees even considered him to be a Sadguru. Accepting his worship, Baba passed his hand lovingly over Maharaj's face and went on patting him gently. Addressing the assembly again, Gaj Maharaj declared, people all over the world anxiously seek Meher Baba's darshan. They come from thousands of miles away just to have a glimpse of him, whereas you, who are present here today, are truly fortunate that Baba has personally come from Satara to afford you the rare opportunity of having his contact. With rising fervor and reverence, Maharaj added, reap the full benefit of Meher Baba's gracious presence by taking his darshan with full devotion and faith. He ended his speech with a wholehearted Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai over the microphone. The photographer Baiya Pandey of Ahmednagar took some photographs of the occasion. He would seldom miss such an opportunity at any function. Baba teased him, would you please allow me to relax a little now? Pandey replied, my camera is restless, Baba, and I think we should have a new reader.
Okey-doke, I'll pause the recording. And we're resuming the recording with Meher Karan reading.
Pandey would gaze at Baba intently, studying his expressions to try to capture them on film. Baba would often chide him. You are eating me with your eyes. Garge Maharaj asked the Mandali to tell the crowd a little of Meher Baba's life. According to Baba's wish, Bhau narrated the highlights and a few incidents. Intermittently, while in Baba's presence, Gadge Maharaj would ask the gathering to chant Devaki Nandan Gopala, which means Hail Krishna Gopal, son of Devaki, who is Krishna's mother. After an hour, he asked those present to make room for other people who were waiting patiently outside. With great reluctance, those inside moved out. Their place was at once taken by hundreds of others, whom Maharaj also addressed, as he had the first group, exhorting them to imbibe Baba's presence with love. At 6:30 p.m., amid shouts of Meher Baba ki jai, Gadke Maharaj ki jai, although Gadke Maharaj put up his hand and sharply admonished the crowd that only Baba was to be hailed, Baba was led to his car by Maharaj. Seeing him leave, people rushed forward to touch Baba's feet. Although some of the pilgrims did bow down to Baba, Maharaj skillfully helped Baba avoid the onslaught.
Wow, what a beautiful building.
Gadke Maharaja's Dharmashala, Pandharpur, 6 November 1954.
Interesting picture.
Baba and the Mandali were taken back to the school, where refreshments were served. The school was situated in a remote corner of the town, away from the roads that were now seething with throngs of people. The Mandali were relieved to come back to this quiet place for a short rest after the noisy, crowded program that afternoon. A group of lovers who had come to Pandharpur gathered around Baba. Being in a cheerful mood, Baba expressed his happiness at seeing them again after the Meherabad meetings. When all had finished the tea and snacks, Baba wished to hear songs from his lovers, and so instruments were brought. Baba ordered everyone to refrain from sleeping the whole night and to pass the night in his company, listening to devotional music. This did not mean that the program arranged by Gadke Maharaj was finished. When Baba and the Mandali were having a bit of a respite, preparations were in full swing in the banks of the Chandrabhaga. Subhadra and then Rusum Kaka sang for Baba. Baba asked Subhadra, "How are you now?" Subhadra had suffered from tuberculosis and by Baba's grace was saved. "My health is all right, Baba," she said. Gadke Maharaj sent word with a messenger for his beloved Vithoba to come to his Dharmashala. That night, tens of thousands of pilgrims had gathered to hear spiritual discourses and kirtans delivered by Maharaj and the devotees. Since Maharaj wished to personally escort Baba to the site, at 9:30 p.m. Baba left with everyone to hear the kirtan on the banks of the holy Chandrabagha river. He drove to Maharaja's Dharmashala, where Gadke Maharaj joined him in the car. In the car, Maharaj confessed, My joy knows no bounds at having you here today, Baba. I too feel very happy to be here, Baba stated as he patted Karke Maharaj gently on his back and stroked his cheek. Eruch recalled that Maharaj nestled close to Baba like a child who seeks his mother's love and protection. It appears as if he had at long last laid down the burden of his strenuous life at the feet of his beloved and was, in the real sense and for the first time, relaxing from care. When Baba arrived, the kirtan was already in progress. Kaikadi Maharaj, Karke Maharaj's chief disciple, was standing on a huge pile of sand which served as a stage, addressing over the microphone the thousands of pilgrims seated on the river bank. The crowd sat listening in rapt attention. The cold was intense, but even though Vittoba, in brackets Baba, was dressed in thin apparel, he was nonetheless radiantly happy. Standing beside Baba and holding his hand, Garge Maharaj addressed the multitude. Have the darshan of Meher Baba, Jagat Guru Meher Baba. Try to realize how fortunate you are that through him came. How fortunate you are that although you came here to worship the Lord's image in stone, you find instead amidst you the Lord of the universe. You can never realize how happy I am that Baba is near me today. Baba has declared that Vittoba would do as Maharaj bade. Maharaj said, stand up, and Baba stood up. Maharaj said, sit down, and Baba sat. The kirtan singing continued. Maharaj again urged the gathering. Make the most of the rare occasion and fill your hearts with Baba's darshan. Dake spoke on Baba's life and read out one of his messages. Bhajas began and another of Maharaj's devotees, Namanand Maharaj, said a few words. Baba asked Gadke Maharaj, now what is left? Whatever you say, Baba, he replied. Baba smiled and stated, all right now, do as I tell you. Take me to the leper colony, I will bathe them. Surprised, Maharaj said, at this time of night, you can bathe them in the morning. Baba stated, all right, I agree, but you should also agree to what I say. Give us permission to leave tomorrow after bathing the lepers. Maharaj accepted, and thus a compromise was struck between Maharaj and the Vithoba. Amidst acclamations of his jai, Baba and Maharaj left the river bank at 12:45 a.m. As the car approached the Dharmshala, Maharaj folded his hands, turned to Baba and said, I am too old now to do any more work. If you keep me with you, I will not be a burden to you. A few bakris and one kafni are all that I need. Baba, touched and amused by his petition, warmly embraced him. Gadke Maharaj also requested that Baba visit his other dharmashala, meant especially for Harijans. And Baba promised he would go there in the morning when he visited the leper colony. After Maharaj got down and they had driven off, Baba told the Mandali, no one but I can understand the real meaning behind Maharaj's words. Maharaj is indeed a perfect saint in the real sense of the word. Baba and the Mandali returned to the school where the other lovers had already collected. Baba asked for tea but took only one or two sips. He then said, I love Gorkhe Maharaj dearly. He is truly a great saint. Now that our meeting has taken place, he will soon drop his body and come to me to enjoy eternal bliss. Baba also stated, You all must remember one thing, and that is that whatever I have declared in my first declaration will assuredly come to pass.
That's
Reiterate,
sorry,
yeah,
Meher. That's final declaration.
oh yeah. You all must remember one thing, and that is that whatever I have declared in my final declaration will assuredly come to pass. Reiterating the main points of the declaration, Baba added, I want all my lovers to inform others of the declaration and spread my message of love to all four corners of the land. Gadekar said, when we speak about the destruction of three-fourths of the world, the rich and intellectuals ridicule us, whereas the poor believe us and emphatically say the world will come to an end. Baba was amused by this and replied, the poor and depressed derive a sort of relief on hearing about it in the hope and belief that the destruction of the world will automatically destroy with it their own suffering and poverty. They believe it not because I say so, but because conditions have brought them to such a state that out of selfishness they would consider it to be a comfort and relief toward their own salvation. It is only natural that the rich and intellectuals ridicule it. They are not to blame. It is not their fault. When you, who love me and have had such close contact with me, do not understand my final declaration, then it is absurd to expect others to understand or believe it. Baba asked the Mandali present, each in turn, to say truthfully whether or not they believed what Baba had said about the destruction of the world, his humiliation, and his violent death. Many frankly admitted that they found it hard to believe such things would really happen. In reply, Baba stated, it is but natural even for my lovers not to believe that such things will happen in a short time because none has yet grasped what I have said. Only I know that whatever I have declared in Meherabad was nothing but the truth. With a serious expression, Baba remarked, what Baba says only your God knows because it was he who spoke in Meherabad. And Baba added, although you may not understand me, you should try to believe in my words and have faith in them, as everything that I have declared in Meherabad will come to pass precisely as I have said. My lovers would make it a point to convey this to others without fear or hesitation.
Thank you, Meher. We'll stop here and pick up next week.